The Galactic Empire ruled the stars. For thousands of years, they had spread their control over countless planets, dominating every species that stood in their way. With advanced technology, enormous warships, and powerful weapons, no one could challenge them. The Empire's leaders believed that they were invincible. To them, Earth was just another small, weak planet ready to be conquered. High above Earth, in a massive Imperial command ship, Admiral Zokar looked at the holographic display of the blue planet below. He sneered. "These humans don't know what's coming," he said, his voice full of arrogance. "Their technology is laughable. This will be over in hours." The Empire had studied Earth for a while, observing their defenses. What they saw didn't impress them. Earth's ships looked small and outdated. They had no massive space stations, no impressive planetary shields. Compared to the Empire's fleet, which had conquered entire systems, Earth seemed like a primitive backwater. Admiral Zokar was so confident of victory that he had even invited several high-ranking Imperial officials to watch the invasion as a show of power. They all believed that Earth would fall easily. "We'll send in a few of our destroyers," Zokar continued, "just to scare them a bit. Once they see the power of the Empire, they'll surrender without a fight." The room was filled with laughter as the other officials nodded in agreement. None of them saw Earth as a threat. To them, humans were an unimportant, weak species. They didn't know that they were about to make a huge mistake. Back on Earth, things looked grim. Human leaders had watched as the Empire's fleet arrived in their solar system. Everyone on Earth knew what this meant. The Empire was coming to take control, and there was little that humanity could do. Earth's defenses, though brave, were nothing compared to the Empire's powerful warships. People on the planet prepared for the worst, fearing their world would be destroyed or enslaved. But not everyone had lost hope. Deep inside a hidden base on the dark side of the moon, a group of elite human commanders watched the incoming Imperial fleet. Unlike most people on Earth, they weren't panicking. They had been preparing for this day for a long time. Earth had a secret weapon, one that even the Empire didn't know about. "Activate the Titan," Commander Jackson ordered, his voice calm but serious. The Titan was Earth's hidden supercarrier, a massive spaceship that had been built in secret. It was a project that no one outside Earth knew existed. While the Empire thought humanity was weak, the Titan had been designed with one purpose: to protect Earth from the galaxy's most powerful threats. As the Empire's fleet moved closer to Earth, the Titan remained hidden, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The Imperial destroyers easily broke through the first line of Earth's defenses, confirming their belief that Earth would fall quickly. Admiral Zokar smiled as he watched human ships explode in space, feeling proud of his easy victory. "Prepare to send in the ground troops," Zokar said confidently. "Earth is ours." But then something strange happened. Alarms began to ring on the Imperial ships. Communication systems started to fail, and strange signals were detected coming from the dark side of the moon. The Empire's fleet had no idea what was happening. Confusion spread among the Imperial commanders. Suddenly, the Titan emerged from the darkness, its massive frame dwarfing even the Empire's biggest warships. The supercarrier was sleek, powerful, and equipped with weapons that far surpassed anything the Empire had seen before. Earth's secret was out, and the Galactic Empire was about to face something they weren't prepared for. Admiral Zokar stared in disbelief. "What? What is that?" he whispered, his confidence quickly fading. For the first time, the Empire began to realize that Earth was not as weak as they had thought. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and the Empire had no idea what they were truly up against. The Galactic Empire's fleet moved closer to Earth, their warships ready to crush any resistance. They had already destroyed many of Earth's smaller defense ships in space, and Admiral Zokar was pleased with how easy the battle was going. His confidence grew with every passing moment. To him, Earth was just a small hurdle, and once it was conquered, the Empire would have complete control over this part of the galaxy. In his command ship, Zokar stood with a satisfied grin. "Send the landing ships," he ordered. "It's time to show these humans who's in charge." Imperial soldiers, dressed in shiny armor, boarded the landing ships preparing to invade Earth. The Empire had conquered many planets before, and this felt like just another day for them. They didn't expect any surprises from the humans. Everything seemed to be going according to plan. But just as the Empire's fleet approached Earth's atmosphere, something strange began to happen. The Empire's powerful ships, which had been unstoppable, suddenly started experiencing communication issues. Their signals were jammed, and the smooth coordination between their ships began to break down. Alarms rang on every Imperial warship as their systems were disrupted by a mysterious force. Admiral Zokar frowned. "What's going on? Fix the communications," he barked at his crew. His officers frantically worked to resolve the issue, but nothing seemed to work. The jamming signals were coming from an unknown source. Then, without warning, a massive shadow appeared on the dark side of the moon. At first, it was hard to tell what it was, but soon, the Empire's fleet realized they were not alone. Out of the darkness, Earth's hidden supercarrier, the Titan, emerged. The Titan was enormous, its sleek black hull gleaming as it moved silently through space. It dwarfed even the largest of the Empire's warships. The Imperial soldiers, who had been so confident moments ago, now stared in shock at the sight of this mysterious vessel. They had no idea Earth had such a powerful weapon. The Empire had believed that Earth was weak, but they had underestimated humanity. Admiral Zokar's eyes widened in disbelief. How did they build that?" he muttered. "We never detected anything like this." The Titan began its assault. From its massive hangars, hundreds of sleek advanced fighter drones launched into space, moving with incredible speed and precision. These drones were faster and deadlier than anything the Empire had ever seen. They swarmed the Imperial fleet, attacking the Empire's ships with advanced energy weapons. One by one, the Empire's destroyers exploded, unable to defend themselves against the onslaught. Panic spread through the Empire's fleet. Commanders shouted orders, but the damage was already being done. The Titan's drones moved like a swarm of angry hornets, targeting the Empire's ships and tearing through their defenses. "Retreat! Fall back!" one of the Imperial commanders screamed, but it was too late. The Titan's main cannons lit up, and in a flash of light, they fired directly at the heart of the Empire's fleet. The blast was so powerful that several Imperial battleships were destroyed instantly. Debris scattered through space as the once mighty fleet of the Galactic Empire was reduced to pieces. On the Imperial flagship, Admiral Zokar watched in horror as his fleet was torn apart. This wasn't the easy victory he had expected. He had underestimated Earth, and now he was paying the price. "How could this happen?" Zokar whispered, his face pale with fear. "How could humans defeat us?" The surviving Imperial ships tried to escape, but the Titan continued to pursue them, its drones relentlessly hunting down any ship that attempted to flee. The Empire had come to Earth thinking it would be an easy conquest, but now they were the ones running for their lives. As the battle continued, one thing became clear: Earth was not weak. It was strong, and it had more surprises in store for the Galactic Empire. The real fight had just begun. The battle in space raged on, but the tide had clearly turned. Earth's hidden supercarrier, the Titan, continued to unleash its fury on the Galactic Empire's once powerful fleet. What was supposed to be an easy victory for the Empire had become a nightmare. The Titan's advanced drones and massive energy cannons were decimating their ships one by one. Admiral Zokar, standing on the bridge of his flagship, couldn't believe what he was seeing. "How did we miss this?" he muttered to himself. The Empire had monitored Earth for years, but they had never detected anything like the Titan. Now their fleet was being destroyed by a planet they thought was weak. On board the Titan, Commander Jackson watched the battle unfold. His crew worked calmly and efficiently, their training evident in every movement. They knew the odds had been stacked against them, but they were ready. Earth had always prepared for the possibility of an invasion, and now that the moment had come, they were showing the galaxy what humans were capable of. "Focus on the larger warships," Jackson ordered, his voice steady. "We need to cripple their command vessels." The Titan's drones swarmed around the Imperial battleships, dodging their laser fire and launching precision strikes. The Empire's ships were powerful but slow, and they couldn't keep up with the speed and maneuverability of the drones. Explosions lit up space as more of the Empire's warships were torn apart. One of the Empire's dreadnoughts, a massive ship armed with heavy cannons, fired a volley at the Titan. The energy blasts raced toward the supercarrier, but the Titan's advanced shields absorbed the impact. Earth had equipped its supercarrier with the latest in defensive technology, something the Empire had never seen before. Admiral Zokar slammed his fist on the control panel. "Keep firing! Don't let them get the upper hand!" But it was too late. The Empire's fleet, once so feared across the galaxy, was in disarray. Their communication systems were still jammed, their ships were falling apart, and their commanders were panicking. They had never faced an enemy like this before, an enemy that fought back with such skill and determination. Back on Earth, people watched the battle in awe. News broadcasts showed live footage from space, where the Titan dominated the Empire's fleet. For the first time, humans began to believe they could win. The fear that had gripped Earth just days ago was fading, replaced by a sense of pride and hope. Humanity wasn't just defending itself. They were winning. On the Titan, the crew continued their assault. The Empire's forces were retreating, trying to escape the battle, but the Titan wasn't letting them go easily. Commander Jackson knew that this was a chance to send a message, not just to the Empire, but to the entire galaxy. Earth wasn't weak. Earth was strong, and anyone who threatened it would pay the price. "Prepare the main cannon," Jackson commanded. "Let's finish this." The Titan's massive energy cannon, mounted at the front of the ship, began to charge. The power levels climbed as the crew aimed the weapon at the remaining Imperial fleet. The Empire's warships, sensing the danger, tried to scatter, but they were too slow. "Fire!" Jackson ordered. A blinding beam of energy shot from the Titan's cannon, slicing through the darkness of space. It struck the center of the Empire's fleet, and in an instant, several ships exploded in a brilliant flash of light. The shockwave rippled through space, sending debris flying in every direction. Admiral Zokar's flagship was hit hard. The ship rocked violently, alarms blaring as systems began to fail. Zokar, still in shock, watched as his once mighty fleet was reduced to ruins. His pride, his arrogance had led him here, and now the Empire was losing. "Retreat!" Zokar finally shouted. "All ships retreat!" The surviving Imperial ships turned and fled, limping away from the battle. The Titan didn't chase them. Commander Jackson watched as the remnants of the Empire's fleet disappeared into the distance. Earth had won this battle, but the war was far from over. The Galactic Empire would not forget what had happened here today, and now they knew Earth was not a planet to be underestimated. The Galactic Empire was in turmoil. After the devastating defeat at the hands of Earth's hidden supercarrier, the Titan, their once proud fleet was scattered and demoralized. Admiral Zokar stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dreadnought, feeling the weight of failure heavy on his shoulders. His heart raced with a mix of fear and anger. The humans had proven to be far more formidable than he ever imagined. "Get me the Emperor!" Zokar shouted to his communications officer, his voice trembling with urgency. The officer quickly complied, establishing a connection to the Imperial throne, where the Emperor awaited news of the battle. The screen flickered to life, revealing the Emperor's dark figure. His eyes burned with fury as he spoke. "Zokar, you were sent to crush these humans. How could you let this happen?" "We underestimated them, my lord," Zokar replied, struggling to maintain his composure. "Their technology is more advanced than we believed. They have a supercarrier that we did not detect. It destroyed our fleet with ease." The Emperor's expression hardened. "Failure is unacceptable. The Empire must not be seen as weak. You must find a way to turn this around. If Earth is not conquered, I will not hesitate to punish you." Zokar felt a chill run down his spine. The Emperor had a reputation for being ruthless with those who failed him. "We have one last hope," he said, desperate to regain favor. "We can deploy our secret weapon." The Emperor raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "What weapon?" Zokar took a deep breath. "It's a prototype battleship, the Oblivion. It is equipped with experimental weapons that could overpower the Titan. If we deploy it now, we can destroy the humans once and for all." "Do it," the Emperor commanded, his voice cold and commanding. "But be warned, if this fails, your fate will be sealed." Meanwhile, on Earth, Commander Jackson and his crew were celebrating their unexpected victory. News reports praised the Titan and its crew for their bravery. The atmosphere on the ship was electric, filled with excitement and pride. But Jackson knew the battle was not over. The Empire would come back, and they needed to prepare. "Stay vigilant," Jackson said to his crew. "We've won this battle, but the war is far from over. We must be ready for whatever the Empire throws at us next." As the Titan repaired and recharged, the crew worked tirelessly to strengthen their defenses. They installed new weapon systems and reinforced the shields, knowing that they might soon face a more powerful enemy. Days passed, and then the warning alarms rang through the Titan. "Incoming ships!" an officer shouted. The crew rushed to their stations, their celebration turning to focus and determination. Jackson looked at the screen and his heart sank. The Oblivion had arrived, a massive battleship that dwarfed even the Titan. "Prepare for battle!" Jackson ordered, his voice steady despite the rising tension. "All hands battle stations." The Oblivion opened fire first, its powerful weapons blasting energy bolts toward the Titan. The crew braced themselves as the impacts shook the ship. Jackson gritted his teeth. They had to hold strong against this new threat. "Return fire," he commanded. The Titan's drones launched into action, darting toward the enemy ship. They fired with precision, targeting the Oblivion's weapon systems. Explosions lit up space as their shots found their mark. But the Oblivion was a formidable foe. Its shields absorbed most of the Titan's attacks, and it retaliated with relentless fire. The Titan rocked under the force of the impacts, but Jackson refused to back down. He knew Earth's survival depended on their fight. As the battle raged on, Zokar watched from the bridge of the Oblivion, confident that this time victory would be his. "Crush them!" he shouted. "Show these humans their place!" But Commander Jackson was not ready to surrender. With determination burning in his chest, he rallied his crew. "We will not give up. Fight for Earth! Fight for our future!" The clash between the Titan and the Oblivion escalated, each side battling fiercely. The fate of Earth hung in the balance as the two ships fought for dominance. Jackson knew they had to find a way to outsmart their enemy. Earth had already proven its strength. Now it was time to show its resilience. The battle had only just begun, and the outcome would change the course of history forever. The battle between the Titan and the Oblivion raged on in the vastness of space. Commander Jackson stood firm on the bridge of the Titan, determination etched on his face. His crew worked tirelessly, each member focused on their tasks. The stakes had never been higher. Earth's fate depended on their success. "Keep targeting their weapon systems," Jackson ordered. "We need to disable their firepower." The Titan's drones zipped around the Oblivion, dodging incoming fire as they fired volleys of energy beams at the massive battleship. The drones struck with precision, but the Oblivion was heavily armored, its shields flickering but holding strong. Admiral Zokar on the Oblivion felt a surge of anger as his flagship endured the relentless assault. "Why aren't they falling?" he shouted to his officers. "They should be crumbling under our firepower." "Sir, their maneuvers are unpredictable," one officer replied. "They're using their drones to distract us while they search for weak points." Zokar clenched his fists. The humans had proven to be resourceful and fierce. They were not the easy targets he had expected. He had to end this quickly before the battle turned against him. "Activate the prototype weapon," Zokar commanded. "Let's show them the true power of the Empire." On board the Oblivion, the crew rushed to comply. A massive cannon began to charge, glowing ominously. Jackson's eyes widened as he recognized the threat. "They're about to fire something big," he shouted. "All crew, brace for impact." The Titan shuddered as the Oblivion unleashed its prototype weapon, a massive energy beam that cut through space like a blade. The beam struck the Titan and the ship jolted violently. Alarms blared, and the crew struggled to stay on their feet. "Status report," Jackson yelled, regaining his balance. "Shields at 70%, an officer shouted. "We can hold, but we need to retaliate now. Redirect all power to the forward shields and prepare a counterattack," Jackson ordered, his heart racing. He knew they couldn't afford to be on the defensive for long. The Titan absorbed the next few blasts, but it was clear that the Oblivion was relentless. Jackson could see the fear in the eyes of his crew. They had already fought so hard and now faced a dire threat. But he also saw determination. They were ready to fight. "Let's hit them with everything we've got," he shouted. "Fire the main cannon." The Titan's massive energy cannon powered up, the crew working in perfect harmony. The beam shot forth, striking the Oblivion in its center. The impact sent shockwaves through space, and the Empire's flagship reeled from the blow. Zokar felt panic rising as his ship began to falter. "Reinforce the shields!" he shouted, but it was too late. The Titan pressed its advantage, launching wave after wave of drones and energy blasts. One by one, the Oblivion systems began to fail. The lights flickered, and alarms blared as Zokar struggled to regain control. "We cannot lose," he yelled, his voice desperate. "This is for the Empire." But Jackson saw the change in the enemy ship. "They're breaking," he called out to his crew. "Keep the pressure on! Don't let up!" The crew of the Titan fought with renewed energy. They pushed the Oblivion to its limits, and soon the ship began to list to one side. Zokar knew he had to retreat. He had underestimated the humans, and now they were turning the tide of the battle. "Sound the retreat!" he ordered, his voice filled with frustration. "Get us out of here!" The remaining Imperial ships began to pull back, fleeing the battle as the Titan continued its relentless assault. Jackson couldn't believe his eyes. The Empire was retreating, and Earth was winning. "Follow their retreat," Jackson commanded. "Let's make sure they don't come back." The Titan pursued the fleeing Imperial ships, launching drones and firing energy blasts. The Empire's fleet scattered, trying to escape the wrath of Earth's newfound strength. As the last of the Empire's ships jumped into hyperspace, a cheer erupted on the Titan. The crew celebrated their hard-fought victory, knowing they had defended their home against an overwhelming force. They had sent a message to the galaxy. Earth was no longer a planet to be underestimated. Jackson took a deep breath, his heart swelling with pride. "We did it," he said, looking around at his crew. "We fought back, and we won!" The crew roared in applause, their spirits lifted. Earth had proven its strength, and the Empire would think twice before trying to conquer them again. The battle was over, but the war had just begun. Jackson knew they had to stay vigilant, for the galaxy was full of threats, and Earth was ready to face them all.